Several years ago, I was sent to a parish in Philadelphia, South Philly, and when I moved into the rectory, every room in the rectory had pipes coming out of the wall. In fact, most rooms, there were 2 or 3, they came out curled up, and they had been gas lamps back in the late 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. South Philadelphia didn't see electric lights until sometime between 1900 and 1910. But to me, it points out something we don't realize and we take for granted, and that's light. We throw a switch, we have all the light we need. We can work at night, we can stay up all night, we have all the light. But think back through the centuries, and their time was delineated between light and dark, but their darkness at night was dispelled with a fire in the fireplace, an oil lamp, or maybe a candle. Think about trying to read a book or to do work. It was a whole different way of living. Light and darkness were a real difference that Jesus was pointing out when he said, "You are the light of the world." He meant that you were an essential thing in what was a dark world that needs a light to go forward. And if we look at salt, we see salt as something we sprinkle on our food and it gives us high blood pressure. But salt was something very different in the time of Jesus. Salt certainly seasoned food, but it was a preservative. They didn't have refrigeration. Salt was a way in which they could preserve meat and fish, especially the fish. They were fishermen. Salt, believe it or not, was essential for the ovens that baked their food, because they used the salt to compound the bricks that they put in the oven that burned, that kept them hot and did the actual baking. And when they got used up, they throw them out and trot them over, as we see in the gospel. So Jesus is pointing out, we say salt and light and we take it for granted in our own thoughts, but he's saying 2 essential things in life: preservation and leading, shining, putting a path, a beacon for people to follow, was part of the mission he was giving to us. And it's something the Holy Spirit is in all of us to give us that ability to be the seasoning, to be that beacon, to reach out, take care of the poor and those who in some way need us to lead. Certainly at times in history humanity listens, at other times it doesn't. But Christ has called us to be the salt and light in the world, and that is what we have got to try and be.